So, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 as a launch title. Wow, okay. This is quite something, because if you watched the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, there was never ever a mention of a Sonic game coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and get this as a launch title as well. But here we are with Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, ideally the best way to experience not only Generations in its greatest form, while also, you know, having to put up with the new dialogue, but honestly, it's not that bad in my opinion. There's some of it that I think the original did better, and all this other stuff, but anyways, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, well, the game coming to Switch 2, which, it's honestly quite interesting. I don't know what they'll necessarily do for a Switch 2 version of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, because it's like, well, you could already play this game on the Nintendo Switch, and it will probably work just perfectly fine on the Switch 2 via backwards compatibility. But here is Sega just announcing, hey, do you want Sonic Cross Shadow Generations on Switch 2, but better? Well, here you go. Yeah, it's quite just something. You know, it makes me wonder, like, what are they going to do for this version of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations? Like, as you already know, it's a platformer, so, like, how are they going to work with this new, like, hardware? Are they going to make some cool new levels that are exclusive to this new version? Like, maybe DLC gets announced? I figured we already know that it's probably going to get a much higher frame rate than what the Switch 1 version has, so pretty much bring it up to par with like some of the other versions, like on PC, Xbox Series, and PS5 for that matter. But I don't know, it's definitely something. And also because, you know, like, the Switch 2 also has the mouse controls. Maybe, I don't know, could they introduce some new, like, little mini games that take advantage of the Switch 2, like, mouse controls? Something like that. I don't honestly know, to be honest, and I don't have all the answers. I'm sure Sega and Sonic Team do have all these answers. I would love to see what it looks like on the Switch 2 itself, because, like, you know, I don't know, it's just quite the something that that this game, which, reminder that this did release like back last year, so it's still a fairly recent release of Sonic games from Sega, and here we are now just 1 year later with a brand new, like, updated version for the Switch 2. Perhaps it just wasn't working well in backwards compatibility, so they were just like, you know what, we're just gonna release a Switch 2 edition of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's quite the something. I'm personally looking forward to it as someone who is a Sonic fan pronto, as you can probably tell. But, like, I don't know. It's gonna be quite the something. I'll obviously will probably check it out at some point after I've been consumed by Mario Kart World for a billion years, Jesus Christ. But honestly, I could also see as well, like, Sega just doing the absolute bare minimum, like, it just be a higher frame rate, like, release. It's nothing really that special, they don't add that much. I honestly wouldn't play it past, like, Sega and Sonic Team to do that, but I do hope they come up with some cool things, like maybe DLC for it, because I know my friend John has been talking about maybe some DLC for either Sonic Gens or Shadow Gens. Probably Shadow Gens would probably make a lot more sense, since that is more newer and is built in the Hedgehog Engine 2, whereas Sonic Generations was built in Hedgehog Engine 1, but Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I could probably think about that I'm not thinking about right now. But again, I wouldn't put it past them if it was just, just a higher frame rate unlock. That's it. Nothing else. There's nothing special. But I would love to see what they'll do for it. And honestly, it's going to be quite interesting. And the fact that it's a launch title as well is another thing as well. So, hey, if you haven't played Sonic Cross Shadow Generations yet, why aren't you playing it right now? You need to go and get it right the hell now. Or, you could just wait until it comes out on Switch 2 and get it for yourself. But yeah, that's just quick thoughts on a Sonic's fan's perspective of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations as someone who has completed the game already on my Switch and on PC, which I did do a full live stream series on. You could say partially a live stream series. Still need to go through most of it, but anyways, that's gonna be it for me as for this little quick video. Just get out for you all. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my quick little thoughts on it. Be sure to click the subscribe button if you're indeed a fan of Sonic, because I am a Sonic fan, and if you like Sonic, then, you're in the right place. And over here is the last video I'll put up for you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Also, you can support me for 99 pence a month as a member, or you can visit the coffee link right here as well. Anyways, take care everybody.